Hey everyone, first of all I want to say sorry for the echo and for the BB gun being on a red fleece blanket, and it's because it's being done in the bathroom. Purely because I can shut the door, put a towel against the door, and because it's quite a narrow one, it's out of the way because we've got a fair few animals here. You can probably hear our big dog in the background. This gun is the Femme Fatale M16 or M27, I believe. It's basically just the M16 Carbine. I think it's a crane stock that you can put batteries in to have it wired up at the back for a bit more weight there, but it's not got the wiring fed through there. The battery at the moment actually goes in the front as stock. The carry handle is on. Everything is stock as you get it from the box. Bought it from a UK local site. I didn't get asked about UCARA licensing or anything, so I guess I pulled a bit of a sneaky there. I would have loved to get my hand on the G&G M27 or M28 Black Rose, because that looks absolutely insane. It's like a more futuristic M27 LAR. First off, start with the magazine. Metal, holds about 450 rounds, 500 rounds. I've got it fairly filled up. To fill it, it's a little flip up here. You just fill it in there, flip down, BBs appear at the top, you wind it towards the curve. So the curve goes like that. Just twist it towards the concave bit. So that easily slips in. First off, we'll go through the aesthetics of the gun. Crane stock back here, fully adjustable. There are 6 places where it can go. You can adjust the strength of the lever. Batteries can go in the back over here. When I can figure out how to get this off again, I've forgotten. Oh yeah, it's 2 little clips at the back here that are a bit awkward to get out. There we go, and then that pulls out, and there's your battery compartment, and there'd be an extra wire that comes all the way from the back there, and all your batteries sitting there. But that just slaps on there, that end snaps in place. A fairly big chunky piece of rubber there. All that's just solid ABS plastic or a high grade plastic. It feels alright as a cheat guard. In fact, I like to have it on full extension because I'm a fairly tall, skinny guy. So full extension. The mag pull here, or the cocking handle, doesn't work, but it's a nice little aesthetic to be able to pull that and let go. Feels pretty wobbly. I'm not sure the compression or decompression spring, but here it works. It's just spring for the aesthetic. Let's bring it back into view. Here is the magazine release. BBs pop out there and I knocks the camera. Behind this flap, I'm not going to be able to get it out because I've not got any bloody nails or anything sharp near me. Basically, you flip that down, and that's how you alter your hop up. The carrying handle does hold a small millimetre rail behind it. These can just easily spin off. Put that to the side. This one's on a bit firmer. There we go. Fall on the floor again, and comes off. And there you've got a nice, fairly stiff thing. I'm guessing the front you could probably take off by getting through it, because it looks like it's just added on the very end there with a couple of screws and actually part of the plastic front of the barrel. I'll just go ahead and pop the carrying handle back on. But one thing I will say when coming out of the box with this is there is a sticker just above the white Femme Fatale logo there, and I've used toothbrush, I've used some solvents, weak solvents on it, different things to try and get it off, and it still gets dirty as hell, and it just annoys me a bit. When I got the gun, that was one thing I noticed as well. They did say they took it out of the box for testing and to make sure it was all working, but when I got it, they hadn't even done the decency of making sure it was all nice and clean when they sent it me. So this handle, the grip was basically pitch black. All here you could actually see people's fingerprints and finger marks and everything all along here. Whatever the person had been doing, he may as well have been going around with the oil feet, jumping around some oil puddles, and then jumping in a bloody load of mud in a bloody field, and then dropped the gun in it, and basically had his way with it. But I guess it works. So all there, spot there for a carry strap, one at the front. They're nice metal. The barrel is all metal. This little piece here for releasing the battery chamber is metal. One thing I will say about that, it's quite tough just for one person on their own to do it for quite a few times. I usually stand the gun like that and have myself pull down it, and then have someone else pull the top ABS piece off so that I can then get inside. I have got a sight I could use on this, but I mainly use it on a crappy two-tone £40 G36C I've got. Other aesthetics on this, you've got the safety semi, but what happens with the semi, I don't know why it is with all the M16s, it tends to be after probably about 20-25 shots usually, it'll stop firing in semi, so you then have to flip it into auto, fire a couple of shots there, bang it back on semi. It's probably best just to keep it on auto all the time and just tap the trigger. It's fairly easy to control. That seems to be about it. I will take the magazine out and put it onto semi now and do a few shots so you can hear the gun and just have a bit more than just me showing the video off. I will try and get some shooting videos, but we've lost all the paper targets for our little shooting targets, and usually just been using cardboard. Plus it's a bit rainy outside for me to go outside and shoot stuff like cans or some bottles of pop or something to show off it. But I'll just fire it blank here so you can hear. This is on semi or not. It's on semi, but apparently it's decided to fire auto. Here we go. And full auto. Back onto the safety. One thing I did forget to point out, there are two sights on the gun that are flippable. There's the wide angle one for just general shooting, and you can flip it towards you, and it's a much smaller indented one that's probably about 1 millimetre or 2 across, which you can use for more precision shooting. I find just with the carrying handle sight and the way it is on there, I whack it on full and can use the wide or the thin, the precision aim, and do really well with shooting some of my mates fair distance away. If we're running around quite a lot, I tend to put it on stock all the way in and on the just regular sight down there, and still pop people quite easily because you're then up close, so you don't really need the precision. Other than that, it seems to fire at quite a good rate, I find. Feels really nice as it's firing because you can actually feel the kick of the motor in it, just enough that it adds a bit more to it. It is quite powerful as it is now. I know it's compatible with Tokyo Marui, or however you pronounce it, MARUI. It's compatible with upgradable motors for them. I could easily put another pistol grip on it, I can see, but I want to keep the pink and purple aspect because I just thought it's going to be fun having a skirmish or something like that with a bright pink gun. I think the magazine, when you've got it all wound up and the BBs are loaded, I think it holds 32 to 35 in there depending on your BBs. I tend to use Bulldog 0.2 gram BBs or Fireball 0.2 gram BBs, but I've started to move on to 0.23 and 0.25 gram Bulldog transparents. Well, the magazines are transparent, they glow in the dark because it's quite cool just running around with this. We've all got light coloured guns, so what we tend to do is go for the nighttime ones because then you can see the guns running about, and we use glow in the dark BBs, which is quite cool considering we're in the countryside. It shows up really well just up on the hills. A good gun, I think, for the UK, for it being all pink and the use you're going to get out of it, and for the one real flaw that it gets quite dirty, and then the one that's sort of generic with all M16s is the semi-auto bugs up because of the spring compression. It's a pretty good gun, but for the price, it is a bit pricey. I think it was £179 for this. In the States, I think it's only about $130, $140, all the same amount in dollars over there. But the difference I've noticed in the ones in the States tend to be more plastic. Like this has been plastic on them, that's been plastic, and it tends to have some lower grade internal parts. So I think that's a bit of a bonus. I don't mind putting that extra money in because it does feel worth it. But if you're just going for a box standard gun, I'd probably say for 180 you could probably get something like the M27 variant of the G&Gs in just their standard black, or maybe get a tan one if you've got UCARA licenses. And then if you've got an airbrush or got a friend who does, most people do these days because they use them everywhere, then just taping up the bits you don't want to paint, get some vinyl, print out some designs on A4, cut them out on the vinyl and stick them on, and then you can spray paint it to your heart's content and sort of get the same effect and put a bit of pink on if you want. I am looking at trying to get the G&G M27 Black Rose when I've got my UCARA license. I do have a UHC AK-74 CQB Krinkov, but at the moment the motor on it is dead. When you pull the trigger, it just makes the really high-pitched whirling noise as if the gear's shredded or it's not connecting. I am going to be sorting that out soon. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was informative. If I've left anything out, please let me know in the comments and below, or inbox at me. Feel free to do whichever you prefer. I'll try and revamp this video when I've got a bit better situation where I can go outside, fight there. I've got a nice clear space that I can actually thoroughly go down and break the gun down a bit, like take off that, show you how the battery installs and everything. Possibly at some point when I do get the upgraded motors and some internals, I will show a breakdown video how to take it apart, install them and put it back together in about 15-20 minutes is going to be my target goal. Other than that, as I said earlier, it's a pretty decent gun. A bit loud, gets a bit dirty easily, but you can't really say anything for a very light / baby pink gun. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like it if you did, hit comment, hopefully subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Speak to you soon.